What's up, guys? So I figured now that I wore these for a little bit, do kind of like a more in-depth look at them. Uh, these are Truman boots. It's just a plain toe boot in dark Coyote rough out leather. It's got an unstructured toe, and it's on the Eugene regrind sole. I've wore these about like a month and a half. Um, I did pretty much everything that I would normally do with a boot. Like I didn't just wear it like a casual boot. Wore it to work. Uh, did some hiking in it. Um, yeah, and it's been an awesome boot. I've really liked it for the time that I was wearing it. So yeah, like it's winter and I get a lot of snow where I live. So I was wearing it out in the snow a lot. Slush, mud and stuff like that. The leather, this dark coyote rough out leather, it's really fantastic for like a foul weather boot or something like that. It doesn't usually on a lot of the other rough out boots that I'll wear, uh, those things soak up moisture like a sponge. You just get a little bit of water in them and then they just soak it up like crazy. Whatever Seidel does to tan this leather, if they apply a coating or something, but I don't know. But it just the snow just slides right off of it, and it doesn't really absorb water like like a regular rough out would. Um, I didn't just sit there and stand in a, a puddle of water or something like that. Just normally walking through snow and puddles and stuff like that. Yeah, it didn't. The leather is great. Um, yeah, so when hiking in these things, stuff like that. Uh, on this other boot here, I was going over a a pretty big rock, and I caught my toe on it, and it actually pulled the sole away from the midsole a little bit, just like a little bit of separation. Um, but yeah, other than that, the boots have been great. The snow kind of does a number on their edge finish, like all the snow and slush and stuff that I've been walking through. But yeah, the boots have been great. I've I've really liked them. See all that, like how the heel counter looks and stuff. Yeah, just been a great boot. Sizing, I'm a 12D Brannick. These are 11 and a half, what I usually get on the 79 last. They've it's got plenty of room. Like it's pretty roomy back here, but I mean it's not too loose for me. Um, the 79 last can run pretty narrow in the toe box. So like if you were trying to, you've never worn a Truman or something, and maybe in other boots that you've worn, you've found that you have trouble with the toe box. I probably wouldn't go half down from Brannick. Um, you know, honestly, if you know that you have trouble with the toe box fitting in boots that you try all the time, I probably wouldn't even bother with the 79 last really. I mean, they make it in this D width and they have a double E width. Um, I my foot is my foot and it works for me. I really couldn't tell you if it would be good for you, but yeah, it runs a little narrow in the toe box there. I mean, it's fine for me, but yeah, like it fits me okay. It's not the most perfect fit just because of how wide it is in the waist, but it's perfectly doable. Um, so in my kind of first look video about this boot, I don't know, it was maybe 3 months or so ago. Uh, the guy in the comments, Rick, asked if I was going to do another video or something about him, if I could talk about like the materials and stuff that it was made of out of. So I figured I'd do you one better and just show you. So this is the other boot. Yeah, as you can see, I cut it in half because I was kind of well, not in half, but I mean I took it apart because I was kind of curious about how they're made and what they're made out of and stuff like that. Full disclosure, I wasn't drinking this time. This was a I made this decision in complete control of all my senses. Uh, but yeah, so we can go over and just check out all the stuff that it's made out of. So so we'll go kind of from the top down, I guess. This is the this is the welt. It was a 200. It was, yeah, 270-degree welt. It's Goodyear welted. It's a leather welt. Not really much to say about that. Um, I guess we can. So it actually has a leather heel counter in there. So this is it that I pulled out. It's a pretty decently beefy heel counter too. Uh, I'm sure a lot of people don't care about stuff like that if you're mainly interested in fashion or something. I think you should probably care that you have a leather heel counter, even if all you care about is looks. So with a synthetic heel counter, like over a long period of time, like I probably should have grabbed them, but I've had some that I've had for like 10 years. They had a synthetic heel counter, and it was fine for the first couple years. After that, the it lost all rigidity and like it's completely shapeless now. Like it's just kind of a line and feels like there's nothing back there. There's like no toe structure. But with a leather heel counter, especially a beefy one, it's going to keep its structure, uh, make it make it so it looks the same pretty much. It's this thing isn't going to just lose all its rigidity and just become like a unstructured mass. So yeah, that's really cool that they use a leather heel counter. I I really like that they do that. Next thing we got here is the insole. So they use a full sock liner. Most boots you'll see they'll have like a half sock liner, like a lot of the Pacific Northwest ones. You'll have a half sock liner. That's where that little lining piece of leather will come up to say around here-ish. Um, I like I like the full sock liners just because if you've looked into Pacific Northwest boots, you'll see on the internet. I've done it, multiple times with those half sock liners. Uh, if sometimes if you pull your foot out, you can pull the edge of them up and they'll roll back, and you got to glue them back down so they can be kind of a pain. But I mean, what I just kind of unlace my boot and then uh, pull my boot down so that it's like more pressure going up, and then I just pull my foot out like that, just so I don't pull that half sock liner up. And with some with a full sock liner, I don't worry about it. I just pull my foot out, and that's that. So that's cool. You can see this this sock liner how it dishes in from me wearing it. You can see with the insole too. So the insole or the lasting board is leather. You can see that's how thick it is. Again, I don't know why I ever do this, but I always never bring my calipers out and measure the thickness of it. But that's how thick it is. That's how the the sock liner is actually kind of thick. I was kind of surprised about that. I figured it would be thinner than that. And you can kind of see how my foot has formed it and all that. Same with the insole. Not really much to say about that. It's a leather insole. So it has a canvas gemming like most mass-produced Goodyear welted boots. Had a cork filler. The way that this thing was attached to the uppers. Um, so how they do it is they put a stitch through there, and it goes through these holes in the uppers. What they do too is they put they put like I don't know how many of these things there were. You can see if you can see that it's like these little staples that they staple through the uppers and through the gemming. So So it's not just the stitch that attaches the gemming to the uppers. It's the stitching and I don't know, probably like 50 staples or something ridiculous. It was a complete pain. Like I said, this time I wasn't drinking, and I kind of wish I was, because I did not enjoy doing that, pulling every single one of those little staple things out, and they were a pain to get out too. So yeah, like I don't ever see the gemi ever becoming detached from the uppers on these. Like they stitch it and they staple the hell out of it. So that's that. The insole comes skimming. They have a cork filler in them. I've seen some other like YouTube cobblers doing resoles. Maybe the boot that they did was just kind of an old one or something, but like it had foam, like a foam filler. This had this cork filler. If you watch me, if you watched my video about the Allen Edmonds things, the Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill boot, where I took that one apart. The cork feels a little different in this. That stuff in the Allen Edmonds was drier, and it kind of chunked off a lot easier. The cork that they use in this was just, it's really more malleable feeling, and it's a lot stickier. It's like that was me trying to get all the cork out, and it just didn't want to come out. I don't know if you can see it. I kind of stabbed my thumb with a screwdriver trying to get all that stuff out. Yeah, that was a pain. But yeah, that's insole, cork filler. They actually have a. This is kind of surprising. I was thinking that like it was going to be a steel shank, but it has this fiberglass one. So I didn't know that. So like if if you're the type that has to go through a lot of security and like metal detectors, this would be a nice boot for you. It doesn't have a steel shank. Um, so yeah, just a fiberglass shank. You know, pretty pretty solid. Um, yeah, probably fine for kind of this lifestyle or fashion boot, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, fine with me. Then the midsole is it cork filler, and yeah. So I guess I could show you this. I don't know if we can see it really well, but you see how it has like that white stitch there, and then these yellow ones. So it would sit like this, and then that would go through the outsole. So like you'll see on just pretty much on every sole, like outsole, if they stitch through and they don't groove the outsole, you'll wear away the stitching. You see like there, some spots there, and that's pretty. You're gonna do that eventually on any outsole that's contacting the ground, and the stitching is contacting the ground. You're gonna wear through it. Um, you know, maybe some people wear through faster than the others, but if you look here, so you'll see that white stitch and then the yellow one. So the white stitch comes down, and the yellow one goes up like that, and they lock like that, and that's kind of what you're seeing here. So it's not too big of a deal, because with these threads still in the hole, it's still locked, so it's probably not going to separate, and they're in those holes pretty good. So yeah, yeah. So that's the leather midsole. This is the Eugene regrind sole. Not really much to see there. Like you can see like a month and a half of me hiking and walking and stuff, and it hasn't even dented the. It's done nothing to the tread pattern, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, not really much to say about the outsole. I did hit it with the well, whatever. I hit it with the durometer to check the hardness, because if you've watched my kind of first first video about these boots, I kind of it felt like it was softer. But now since we've this YouTube channel has exited the larval stage, we've got a durometer, and I could actually check that. So on this Eugene regrind, I did 3 spots and I just averaged them. Uh, I got 63 on the shore A, and then I did the just the regular black Eugene sole, and I got 77. So on the shore A scale, the higher the number, the harder the material is. So these are actually a little softer than the black Eugene ones. And I mean, maybe you could feel it. I really wasn't paying attention to that, but maybe it'll make it grippier on hard, smooth surfaces or something like that than the black ones are. I don't know. But yeah, these ones are softer than the black ones. Um, and generally that means you're gonna have better grip, but probably less life as far as durability goes. Just kind of a just like a tire. Um, but yeah, that's the outsole. The heel stack is leather. We had a couple stacks there. Not really much for me to say about that. The heel cap, and you can see usually where's it? Yeah, usually I really grind these heel caps down when I'm walking because I've got like a weird gait, but these have actually held up really nicely for a month and a half. Um, you can kind of see it there. But yeah, perfectly fine sole. Like I did some hiking in it, and like on soft dirt and stuff like that, it was fine. Kind of pretty much on par with like a V bar or something like that. These are all the nails that they used in it. These ones they these ones are the ones that they nailed through the heel cap down into it. Then when you pull the heel stack off, they use these ridge ones around this area here, and then they use like they were serious about nailing this thing down. If you can see all the little holes there, they after those they use these smaller clinch nails, which were a complete pain to get out, and like they were almost like touching each other. Like they used a lot of nails around that area of these smaller ones. But yeah, so that's I haven't really seen too many. Well, I don't think I've seen any. I've seen resoles of Truman's, but I figured I'd do this just so people can get a better idea of what they're paying for. Um, there's the vamp lining. It's like a smooth leather. These ones were unstructured, so yeah, there's no toe structure in there. And that's the inside of uh, the leather there. You can see it's like more of a nubuck looking leather. I kind of wonder what a boot with a reverse. If you reverse this, like I think it would look pretty cool, like a that nubuck thing on the outside. I think that would be kind of cool, but I don't know. Yeah, so that's the boot. There's the tongue. You know the when I first got it, the tongue felt a little more stiff than the rough out leather, but the tongue softened up really nicely, and the leather still has like a firmness to it. Like it's softened up a little, but yeah, it's kind of a you can see it's not a floppy leather at all. But yeah, these boots were pretty awesome. You know, it kind of sucks that I sacrificed them to the altar of YouTube views because I did like them. But you know, I actually got another pair of Trumans that were kind of similar to it. So I got these tobacco chamois rough out ones. They're pretty much the same as this. It's just a different leather. It's got an unstructured toe and it's got a 360 welt instead of a 270. But yeah, so I guess I'll just wear these now. I didn't really want to have two of pretty much the same boot. Um, so yeah, I'll just be wearing that. Oh yeah, that's I forgot about doing that. But so yeah, maybe I'll do an update video on these two. This is Horween's chamois leather. It's like a oiled nubuck. You'll This is the smooth side of it. Uh, this is like the reverse side of it. Yeah, I've liked this leather. Like I have a pair of Alden Indies in this leather, but it's just the smooth nubuck side that's on the outside. Just a real oily leather. But yeah, so I'll be wearing these. Totally forgot to throw these bad boys on the scale. So 2 pound, we'll say 2 pound, 2 pounds 4 ounces. But yeah, that's pretty much it of how these things looked. Uh, really nice boot. Uh, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you in the next one.